What's up, everybody? Pastor Matt here. Thank you so much for checking into my YouTube channel. Well, for the last couple of weeks, I've been doing a little four-man tournament on finding the best Greek New Testament through which I'm going to read in the year 2021. Today, we're going to look at the champion and the winner of that little tournament. So far, we've looked at the Nestle Aland 28. We've looked at the UBS 5, the UBS 4, as well as Crossway Greek Scripture Journals, and the Crossway Tyndale House Cambridge Greek New Testaments. And by the way, I did a whole video on the difference between the Reformation era Textus Receptus and the more modern critical textual editions. And so today I'm going to present to you the book that I'm going to actually use. Now, this one you can't unfortunately buy in any stores, although you can have one made. And this one was made by Brock Childers at For the King Trading Company. Brock does a lot of work with leather goods and things like that. And so I had him do this for me, and so I do want to thank Brock at For the King Trading Company. He can do this for you. This cover right here is a Horween natural Dublin leather, and the liner on the inside is a vegetable tanned goat skin. So this is going to be different from something that you can buy in the stores or on Amazon, but again, you can have Brock Childers do this for you. So first, let's look at the outside, then we'll go to the inside. This is a pretty tough leather right here, and this is a very rustically done rebind here that does not have completed edges. I wanted it like that on purpose. I think that's super cool. And this leather is very unusual because it can actually kind of change colors before your eyes here. As you press that, you see what's happening there. And you can make these wrinkles. See all these beautiful wrinkles right here in this leather? These are going to stay forever, and this leather is going to get more and more rustic as time goes by. It's going to look more like an old cowboy's saddle or something like that. This leather is tough and it's built to grind, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's got some really deep tones of dark brown, and it's got some nice lighter tones. Here, I'll show you. If we flip it over here, you can see this is the kind of leather that's going to scratch up really good for you. And I can actually make a brand new wrinkle, all these cool wrinkles like this. If I just take this leather and I just kind of fold it like this, it's going to get wrinkly, and these wrinkles are going to stay. So this bad boy is going to look more and more beautiful over time, and I'm very thankful for the King Trading Company. Done other things with Brock Childers before. Here, let me show you. This is a little journal, notebook journal that Brock Childers made for me for my Lord's Day sacramental notes, new membership notes, baptism notes, Lord's Supper notes, all that kind of stuff. So he does a lot of really cool things. And so I wanted to have Brock Childers do this for me, and I'm so glad that I did once I found the right Greek text block to use. So let's look a little bit more at the outside before we get into the inside. Notice what I mean when I say this is a kind of a rustically done rebind here. This does not have finished edges. To be honest, at this point in my life, I've had so many nice books and Bibles that I really am not super into the premiums anymore. What I'm really into is just things that are going to last, and so this one is going to last me for just practically forever and ever. The inside of this is a vegetable tanned goat skin right here. So this is a goat skin inner liner, and again, that Horween natural Dublin liner here on the outside. If you get a good look at the corners here, you can see that they're not finished off, but they're kind of roughed in, which I think is really cool. And this is a tabbed in, though edge-lined rebind here. This was originally a hardback when it came from Amazon and sent over to For the King Trading Company. So this is going to last forever and ever. And this leather is a super, super durable leather. You can see here that we've got the For the King Trading Company lion stamped onto the spine right there. But this thing is just going to look incredible about a year from now, especially as I throw this in my backpack. I can take this to church with me. I can keep it on my desk. It's kind of a big, heavy book. This is a 9x6 text block, so just to compare it here, here's a hardback ESV. It's about the same size as your average Pew Bible. So keep that in mind when you're thinking about getting this text block if you want to read through the Greek with this. So thanks again to Brock for doing this for me. It is amazing, and you can find his stuff over on his Facebook page where he does all kinds of leather goods and things like that. So let's then go ahead and look at why I chose this particular text block to be my read through the Greek New Testament for this year. So one of the things that you're going to see right away is that this is actually a reader's edition, which Crossway has put out here. A reader's edition is an edition that has the entire Greek text up here with very little comment or interruption. But down here, what they have are translation helpers. And these translation helpers are primarily going to be those words and phrases that come up so fewly times, is that a word? So few times in the New Testament that even those who've studied the language need a little bit of help. There's something in the Greek called a hapax legomena, and they're very frustrating when you come to them. It's a word that only comes up one time in the whole New Testament, and there's a bunch of them. So even a person who studied the Greek for a long time is going to struggle when they come to those hapax legomena, unless they really, really have the whole New Testament memorized. But these are more than just the hapax legomenas. These are all the words that come up 25 times or less that even a good student might not know. And so you can see quite a few how many of them there are on any given page of the New Testament, which is why it takes a really long time to get super proficient at the New Testament. And since I've had training in the Greek, but I'm not a great Greek scholar, I thought a reader's edition would be the perfect edition for me. So that's what I ended up choosing, a book with a lot of helps. And so here's a page that I recently did. This is Matthew chapter 16. You can see what I've done here, pretty much consistent with my other reviews as I've gone through, and I've added just those words that I needed a little help with, and these little footnotes right here will take me right down to this key box down here where I get the help that I need. And so these little helpers consist not only of a basic translation, but they also give you things like the tense or the number, whether it's singular or plural, whether it's first person or second person, whether it's a present, active, indicative, or an aorist past tense. And so these are going to be very, very helpful to the person who's a decent Greek reader, but not necessarily an expert, which is exactly what I am. My doctoral work is in Jonathan Edwards' studies, so I'm not necessarily the best Greek scholar in the world, but I do have a strong desire to get back into the Greek. And so this book provided for me the perfect combination of everything that I'm looking for that Greek text to read through. It's got a great Greek text. It is a critical edition. And what's interesting about the Tyndale House Crossway Cambridge text block right here, as I mentioned in a previous video, is that this critical edition has really selected readings that are apparent and are manifest in the manuscripts that are from the first 500 and 600 years of the New Testament, and not so much focused on those manuscripts that are far later than the early church would have had access to. So the whole point of the Tyndale New Testament is that we would get as close to what we had in the first 400, 500, 600 years of the early church, not so much the base text that was used in the last 400 years of the church, such as the Textus Receptus, which underlies translations like the King James and the New King James. Okay, so the whole point of the Tyndale is to get back as far as you possibly can into the past, to have the readings that were available in the first 400 years of the Christian faith. And so what the Tyndale House did for their readings is, in order to get a reading in the main text, that reading had to be present in at least one or two manuscripts that are, like I said, of the first 5 or 6 centuries AD, so as to have the most ancient readings as possible. And again, I get into all of that in my video and the difference between the Textus Receptus and the modern critical texts. But basically, this is the one I've chosen, and I am thankful to Crossway. Crossway has been a great supporter of this YouTube page. Although I happen to buy this book block myself, they have given me some of the other editions for my own review here. But I think this is fantastic, and of course I owe a debt of gratitude to Brock Childers at For the King Trading Company for rebinding this for me, and this Horween leather. I can't wait to see what this thing does over time. It's just so cool to press and to manipulate this leather. I can put little idiosyncrasies in the leather wherever I want, but I'm just going to let it kind of naturally happen as I use this book block and enjoy it over time. So hopefully this little guy will be with me for quite some time to come. Now, if you're interested in getting this exact reader's edition from the Greek, although it won't be rebound as nicely as mine is, you can still buy this book block on Amazon.com, and I will provide a link in the description of this video so you can go over and get the Tyndale House Greek New Testament in the Reader's Edition. So thank you so much for watching this brief series on Greek New Testament texts. As always, I do love you lots, and we'll talk to you later.